and you never know what's going to happen in Pittsburgh. You know, in hindsight, I think I may have ignored the pasta and meatballs. but
It's
what
too
I
hard
concluded,
sometimes in reality. It looks like crap.
It's changed.
Right.
Something's changed. Being at the game last Sunday night had a profound effect on me because I had never seen a Steelers home game like that, where it felt like a neutral site game where fans just show up with their cheese heads and their Packers jerseys, and it's like a Lambeau Field party, and it's like, where are the Steelers fans? What's going on here? What's happening to this team? And then Mike Tomlin seems completely chill and unbothered by what's happening. What's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Right.
Yeah, past years, that would have been a classic game where the Steelers go in and take care of business against a team that's record has been fattened up, and they're not as good as 7-1, and this is a day to smack them down. But I felt like this year, something's different. They don't have the horses to do it. And it turned out they did. And they won the game 27-20. It felt like it was worse than 27-20. Some garbage time points for the Colts. Regardless, all that matters is the Steelers got the win, a much-needed win, and they forced 6 turnovers. The Colts had 4 all year in 8 games.
Yeah.
They had 6 yesterday against the Steelers. That's the kind of game that the Steelers need. That's the formula. That's the blueprint for them to win, to create havoc, to create turnovers, get short fields, score points, and that's how you win, and now they're 5-3.
Definitely. It's what we expected, right? It was somewhat efficient on the offensive side of the ball. It's not wowing or sexy, but Rodgers, hits the throws he's supposed to. They control the ball a little that way. Okay, they score a few points, and then, hey, the defense makes a few plays, certainly. And that's what we've been missing. I mean, and you heard me say last week that the 2 playmakers are the 2 edge guys. It's T.J. Watt and Alex Smith. And then Nick Herbig might be the third best playmaker. But yesterday, Peyton Wilson got involved in the mix, too. I mean, the interception, he has the tip pass that goes into Jack Sawyer's hands for an interception as well. And that's what's different. You heard me in the viewing room yesterday, right, early on in the game. You know I know some people in football and all that. I got the sense by texting some people in Pittsburgh during the week, and you heard me say this, I think, right, that they were going to change their approach on defense a little bit. I didn't know
they were doing cover 2 right out of the gate.
That's what I didn't know what it was going to be, but I got the sense in text that they were like, hey, we're going to change the way. And you might have heard me saying, I don't know if that means they're going to blitz more or what, but I got the sense that they were like, no, what we've been doing, we got to tinker with and change. And the big thing what they did was they played more zone than any other game in the season to this point. They played, 70% zone snaps, right? Now, I don't know. Yeah, we saw cover 2. We saw that. I saw a lot of single safety zones as well, and I think that probably caught the Indianapolis Colts by surprise. But the thing that it does there, you got zone, eyes are on the ball. They got a lot of instinctive players, so the quarterback, you react, you rally, you tackle. No man-to-man, so guys aren't just running by people for big plays like we saw Jordan Love do to them the week before. So that was big as well. And then, hey, sometimes when you're in zone and if you play it the right way, what happens? Oh, I drop back. Instead, it's man-to-man. Oh, I got a back shoulder. I got a go route. Oh, I got a slant route. He beat him right away. Boom. Oh, wait, what coverage is this? Hold on. Let me pat the ball. Oh, was that T.J. Watt that just hit me? And that's what happened yesterday. So that was what was big to see for Pittsburgh, their change of a style on the defensive side of the ball, and we'll see if that benefits them going forward.
Well, and something lit a fire, and that was another factor last week that caused us both, I think, to believe the Colts would win the game.
Right.
There seemed to be no fire.
Right.
Mike Tomlin didn't seem to be upset, and we do the Show Me Something draft on Friday. I said, hey, T.J. Watt and the Steelers defense, it's time to show us something.
Right.
T.J. Watt got that contract better than Myles Garrett's.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett's playing like Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
T.J. Watt's been on a milk carton most
you're right.
of the year.
So
he stepped up. The defense stepped up. The Steelers are back. It changes everything, especially as they felt the Ravens beginning to breathe on the backs of their necks. That was huge for the Steelers to show up, reestablish themselves, beat the Colts. It's a confidence builder. And it's a boost, and it reintroduces the Steelers to the conversation because it felt like they were in the process of falling
Yeah,
off.
you're right. That's exactly right. It makes you go, okay, wait. Okay, there is hope for this football team. Maybe they can figure out some of these things on the defensive side of the ball. I can't remember who was announcing that game yesterday.
It was
But
J.J. Watt.
Oh, yeah. But he did say during the game that the defense was, like, first off, disgusted by their performance over the last few weeks, but also disgusted and mad and angry about what the national media was saying about him. I'm sure what they heard.
I hate that. Wait,
I know you do.
Steelers.
I know
Steelers.
you do.
It's your own fault. Don't get mad that we noticed that you stink. Stop stinking. It's not our fault that we pointed out what was happening. I hate that. I hate that. How dare you point out that we're not any good this year?
I hear you.
I hate that.
We're in that world right now.
I know, but it's just it's. I mean, it's.
I got
your
mad
own
at somebody
fault.
on the highway
It wasn't
today.
some hot
They cut
take.
me off and they got off the highway. He was mad that I got mad at him for breaking the law. And
How dare you?
Yeah, like how dare you? Right? That's the world we are in.
Did he stop texting?
How dare you?
Did he stop
tell
texting
me?
while driving long enough to get mad at you?
He was holding his phone. Like
I see
that
that all
right.
the time. You can
Yeah.
see. You look in
Yeah.
the rearview mirror, and you can see they never even look up from their phone.
No.
How do they drive?
I don't know. Either.
Anyway,
it drives me
anyway,
crazy.
Steelers,
But your point,
I love you. Second favorite team, according to him. But it's not our fault that we noticed that you got outclassed by the Packers,
Right.
that your fans got shamed by Packers fans, that it felt like a neutral site game, that you had the ugliest uniforms we've ever seen. It's not our fault that we noticed those things.
I hear you. I think the thing that JJ said was they were bothered by, are they washed? Are they too old? Right? Which, again, of course, was a fair question for
Yes.
the way they look, certainly. But, hey, they get back to playing the way they did yesterday. They do that on a consistent basis. We won't have any of those questions.
When you're covered in soap suds, you may be washed.
Exactly. Right. So the game fell right for them. And let's talk about the game a little bit. First off, the Colts go right down the field on the first drive of the game, and it's like bing, bong, boom, 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 and you're like, oh, hey, the Steelers defense, it still sucks. Sorry, Liverpool.
Pow.
Right. I mean, it was right away. Then they stop Pittsburgh, and they're about to get the ball back, and you're going, oh, man. I mean, the way they made it look, like you could feel the anxiousness in the stadium, and that became the Josh Downs fumbled punt. And I know the Steelers didn't score on that drive right. They got stopped on 4th and goal. But either way, it can change the dynamic of the football game to where you felt like the Colts were like, oh, gosh, here they go. They're rolling. The Steelers
starts
are
to
like,
feel like a Steelers
right,
game when something like that happens.
Right.
That's
And
one of the
then-
Steelers' moves.
Exactly
it's like,
right.
their formula's in place today.
Exactly right. So they do that. Okay, great. Oh, they don't score. But then I think it was the next drive or the drive after that. I think it was the next drive. They get the strip sack. And that causes a short field, and they get a touchdown not long after that. And that kind of got everything rolling. And they never let Jonathan Taylor in the run game get going. And again, I think a little bit of that is the zone defenses because you got eyes at everybody's looking, right? I'm not worried about my man, right? And he ran this way as a receiver or tight end. Oh, wait, they ran the ball kind of right where I was supposed to be, but I was in man. So, they did this or whatever else. There's a little bit of that.
That's a great point, though. When you're covering a man, you're covering the man. When you're in a zone, you can pay more attention to what's going on in front of you.
Even in the run game, and especially this day and age with like the RPOs and stuff, right? You'll see them run the ball, and the tight end might run to the flat. And then the guy that's supposed to maybe have the D gap, he's going, wait, I'm running. I got to cover a man-to-man. You wanted me to help out in the run, but you also told me to play man-to-man. So that's the hard thing about man-to-man at times. And that's where you can get tricked and certainly confused. And I think they took a better approach there altogether and certainly seemed like they flustered the unstoppable machine of Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen, which we hadn't seen. And we hadn't seen anybody bottle up Jonathan Taylor like that. And I think the other aspect is that when you get a lead and your defense causes some turnovers, it caused the Colts to get away from the run game. And that's where, I think we all look at it and go, ooh, if the Steelers can get a little lead and then it becomes, here comes TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and they can bring a creative blitz that Terrell Austin does from time to time and splash that in there, that's where you give them hope going into the future. But we got to see it more consistently, and hopefully they can capitalize off of yesterday.
14 carries, 45 yards for Jonathan Taylor, 3.2 yards per carry with a long run of 9. That is a huge performance by a Steelers defense that got shredded on the ground against the Bengals.
Yeah. I mean, in a Colts offensive line, that's been perfect. I mean, Colts offensive tackles, right? I mean, the big blue wall. I mean, their tackles have been phenomenal this year. And to watch them get beat the way they did a few times in the game yesterday by all those guys, that was shocking. It certainly was. But the Steelers defense made some plays and gave that stadium some energy,
which it needed, because if you just look at the offensive performance, now you get some short fields, but it wasn't like it was
right.
And so, some games the offense shows up, the defense doesn't, they lose. Far better if the defense shows up and the offense is kind of there and they win. Every once in a while they put both ends together.
It was 5 turnovers in the game, and the game was 24-10, and we were like, it's 5 turnovers to none, and this is scary. You still were like, the Colts might go down here and score and make it 24-17. I think they got one more strip sack and got a short field goal, and that made it 27-10. But there was a lot of instances in this game, even though when they're making the plays, you were going, well, here go the Colts. They're about to drive. Here they come. Oh, damn, turnover. Well, they were kind of in fringe field goal territory. They were about to do something there. So timely there. But, yes, there's a part of me, too, that wants to go, is it sustainable to expect that on a week-to-week basis? And I'm not ready to say yes yet. You got to do that and show me that your defense can create havoc more than one game before I start to go, okay, the Steelers are back on D, right? We got to see this three more times to start to go, no, this is a thing now. They've got it. They figured it out, and I'm not ready to say that yet about the Steelers.
Here's Coach Mike Tomlin on the difference between last week and this week.
It's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes in this business. It's nothing dramatic. It's really not. And that's why we respect it so much. A couple plays here and there, it might have been different last week. We don't give up a 59-yard ball, the 33-yard ball. We don't let them convert on 4th and 1 in the flat, for example, in the third quarter. That's football at this level. It's a limited number of plays or sequences that can really change the trajectory of an outcome. We're still the same group that stunk it up last week. That's football.
He's so right. There's like 5 plays in a game, 5 moments in a game. Whether it's you make the play, they make the play, it's a bad call, it's a weird bounce.
Or my guy's a freak and he makes a play.
Yes.
And that's why you look at it and you go, yeah, the league is as close as ever. These games are nail-biters. Even when it's like, hey, this is supposed to be the best team in football and this is the worst team in football. It doesn't matter. And that's why this is, to me, where we're back to the Eagles. They've mastered this, like, hey, we got all this other stuff, but in big moments, you need some players to make some plays. The game's too close. This is what we're seeing. It cut too many of the games and big games we've seen the last few years. It didn't come down to, oh, this team perfectly executed. You go, whoa, this guy made a play in a big moment. That's what happens. Right? So it's not always about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And, last week, we know the game was very competitive. They blew a few situational plays, and then blew the doors wide open for the Green Bay offense. So we'll see where this goes. But, yeah, you got to have some guys that can go above and beyond what is called or what was drawn up in the playbook. And I think that's what, maybe one thing we question about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll see if they can continue on the plays they made yesterday.
Oh, by the way, we'll see them Sunday night against the Chargers in L.A.
Yeah.
Against Jim Harbaugh, who once was the Colts quarterback, in a game that I attended in the first row of the upper deck looking down into the end zone where Harbaugh almost completed the Hail Mary that would have sent the Colts to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a game.
It was a hell of a game.
Garrett and I were talking about that yesterday.
Super Bowl 30 it would have been, right?
That was because I mentioned last week, I was at that game, and when Ernie Mills caught a long pass to set the Steelers up for the go-ahead touchdown, the stadium shook to the point where it crossed my mind that maybe the upper deck is going to collapse onto the lower deck. That's how much it was shaking.
You would think that.
Well,
Dr. Doom.
I'm front row of this roller coaster.
Can this stadium?
I felt it shaking.
Can this stadium handle loud noises?
No, the stadium shook. I had never experienced that before.
Dr. Doom. Will the stadium collapse if we score a touchdown and we all die?
I definitely didn't experience it last week at Acrisure Stadium. There was no risk of anything collapsing due to the sound waves in Pittsburgh. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.